Chapter 2. Same story, different twist though. A director with the ravenous craving for attention and glory, telling the most creative stories ever known. Like first, guy was just chilling in heaven when he thought to himself, you know what? I'm gonna make me an earth. A beautiful, awe-inspiring creation it will be. And on this particular earth, he decided to make mankind. He gave them everything they would need to survive. Well, except for, of course, the good stuff, like the knowledge to know the difference between good and evil. So nothing really too major if you think about it. Like, who really needs to know the difference between bad and good? Just go with the flow. So, besides giving them a personal garden to call home and telling them that literally everything, I'm talking about from the animals to the weed, everything, do you not know what the word means? Everything, not a single motherfucking thing is off limits. Well, except for one thing, of course. Could you imagine that? God walking around with Adam and Eve showing them their new spot like, yo, check that beauty out over there. I like to call that the waterfall. Ain't she beautiful? Yeah, I thought so myself, man. I don't like to brag, but you know why I call it the waterfall? Because the water's falling?
Wow. Look at the brains on that. I'm not going to say you got it from your father, but I'm not going to say that you did. All right, so moving on. Oh, and check this out over here. This right here is one of my favorite, funniest creatures ever. I like to call it you know what? I'm going to let you name all the animals. This is your garden. I'm not going to jump in and start pushing my stuff around on you. And I don't want to sway your decision on this one, but I like to call this one, just want to tell you because I love it. Wait for it. The poo-poo slinger. What you think?
What's poo-poo?
You know what? Moving on. Okay, and over here. Ooh, wow, that's embarrassing. Super. I was expecting this to be at the end of the tour. We must have took a wrong turn somewhere. You know what? Let's cover this right now, because there's no need for us to double back and walk all the way back here. Plus, we don't want this weighing on the back of your mind like, what was that? So let's cover this right now, okay? So, when I said everything before was yours, this tree is definitely not. Do not touch this tree. This is one of my favorite trees, okay?
Okay. Well then, what's it doing down here?
No particular reason. No, none at all. Just, heaven's kind of full right now. Just occupancy is just crowded up there. And I just really needed a place where I could just appreciate this in peace. You know what I'm saying? So I thought, what better place than smack dab right in the middle of your new garden? Don't worry. You won't even notice it. Just stay away from it, okay? Just stay, okay?
Yeah, okay. Okay, great. Good to know. God's already off to some great old mind games. It's like leaving a loaded gun in your toddler's room and being like, now, Timmy, you can play with anything in this room, okay? Except for that gun over there, okay? You hear me? I'm talking about anything, Tim. Anything in this room except for this loaded weapon. Now, I'm just going to place this down right next to your other toys, okay? No, don't touch. Remember what I just said 2 seconds ago. And you have an awesome day, okay? I got some errands to run. If you need anything, just call me. Although I would prefer it if you didn't. Because like I said earlier at breakfast, I'm going to be swamped, okay? Kisses and love. Goo goo gaga, yeah. Toodles. So if that wasn't bad enough, besides A, leaving temptation and not selling off his new creation from outside threats, why God does what he does next is anyone's guess, right? Like Beyonce, he told the devil, you're gonna have to move it to the left and step.
Okay? You and all your homies, you better step before Uncle Phil you out of here. Gets to stepping, you don't no longer belong here. You and all your little crony homies, whatever you want to call it. Don't be throwing them fingers at me, G, because I'll throw some fingers back. Shit, don't make me snap.
Now that's an interesting story in itself, right? It's so interesting, we're going to have to take a detour real quick. Right now, we're on the main highway of life, but we're going to have to take this next exit, because when it comes to the devil, you got to take a detour. So let's take a detour with the devil real quick. Now, before his name was the devil and other such bad things, you know what? Like, come on, how hard did they try coming out with that name devil, right? Like, they were just sitting around. Dude was like, he's evil! Yes, Robbie, we know he's evil. And it's not just because he slept with your wife, but we gotta come up with a better name than evil. How are we gonna differentiate what evil from the next evil? We can't keep doing it the way we're doing it. Evil 1, evil 2. We're gonna lose track of which evil is what. So let's get a little creative, because we're classy men. We could do this. Let's just dig deep, okay? You hear me? Come on, give me some good stuff. Hit me with something. Ain't no wrong answers. Okay, yeah. How about Avil? What? No, terrible. Moving on. How about Bevel? Wow. No, we've already got one of those. And nobody likes them. Nobody. Come on, get off the slow train. Get back on the fast one. Okay, how about Seville? Are you even trying? You know what? Stop trying. Just sit the fuck down, okay? You're giving me a headache. It feels like you're just picking letters from the alphabet and attaching them to evil and just going down, like it's gonna fit and work somewhere, okay? Shit, let a pro handle this real quick. All right, let me see. Think spitball. What are we doing? No wrong choices. How about devil, guys? Oh, yeah. All right. That sounds dope. Wait a minute. I was going to get this. Rob, he was never going to get there. Come on, just sit in the back like you meant to be, because I'm that guy that knows how to rhyme and put it out on the line. That's why I'm always fine, okay? Now sit back and let me do some more shit. Now, before it was devil, though, it was Lucifer. And hearing that name, it doesn't sound that much better. Granted, it doesn't have the word evil in it, but listen to it. Lucifer. Doesn't that just feel like it's going to be a supervillain? Like, that's not somebody who's walking old ladies across the street or being the top-notch Boy Scout, okay? I don't know if it's the stigmata surrounding his name or what. It just feels like if I was a kid on the playground and a new kid walked up on me and was like, hey, my name is Lucifer. You want to be friends? And I just get a sudden flash of his whole future. I never had any powers or anything before, but just that name would invoke certain things. I'd be like, ugh! Get up and like, no, I love to, but yeah, it was the weirdest thing. I just had a flash of your future, and let me tell you, Woody, it is dark, like scary dark, like so dark. I'm gonna have to go right now, and we're gonna have to move far. I gotta tell my mom we gotta dip. She'll never believe me because you know how kids are. No one ever believes the kids, but you know what? It's nice not knowing you. Deuces! But apparently, even with the name Lucifer, God still loved him. Top-notch angel, had it all. I'm talking about great looks, no makeup. Do you hear me? No filters, nothing, just pure beauty. How many people can say they can pull off pure beauty without no makeup and no filters? I'ma wait. Then he had some wings. Do you hear me, people? Do you hear me? Wings, people. He didn't have to believe he could fly. He knew he could fly. Just flap, take you to places and beyond. And then he had that drip. They was drippier than a motherfucker. Said he dripped so low it hang down to the floor. From the head to his toes, that nigga was froze. Straight fresh. And on top of all that deliciousness, he also had a voice, okay? Some would say that of an angel. Do you hear me? An angelic voice? He was out killing everybody in the solos. No one went to anybody else for the solo parts, just Lucy over there. But apparently, that wasn't enough. Even with all this at his fingertips, he wasn't entirely happy, right? I don't know the ins and outs of all the stories because I wasn't there. This ain't no second-hand story, no third-hand, fourth-hand. This is a couple-hand story. This is a couple hundred, couple millions. It didn't flowed. You know what I said? I wasn't there from God's ear to mine. He didn't tell me, so I can't really tell you, though. But I will tell you this. Apparently, jealousy seeped inside his heart and began to grow for God's newest creation. I'm like, why? We ain't got no wings, and we definitely ain't got no drip. We out here dripless. Nothing but leaves and twigs covering our shits. We got to go out there and chase the bag if we want that swag, okay? And on top of all that, do you know how many people would kill for an angelic voice? Lucy, how many people would kill? You can't see my hand, but it's definitely raised right now. You know why? When you have an angelic voice, you ain't got to work extra hard anymore to get that ussy. You just got to hit a couple of those high notes and sing it like you mean it. And all of a sudden, you got yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 girlfriends, okay? It's one of the easiest ways to get yourself a lady. Well, besides money, of course. Ask Rick James. Ask Barry White. Ask Michael Jackson. Ask Usher. Ask R. Kelly. You know what? Don't ask R. Kelly. He might not be able to be reached right now. But I'm just saying, ask somebody. They'll let you know. That's some solid stuff. That's a game changer right there. But apparently, Lucy was still jealous. All this, and he was still jealous of us. Why are you so jealous, Lucy? It makes no fucking sense. I mean, was it free will? Because some people speculate free will, like God had never given free will to anybody. Before that, it was all just robots in disguise. And God was like,
you know what? I'm going to do something tricky this time. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of free will on these peeps.
And Lucy was like, free. Did I hear you right? Did you say free will? Not just regular will? You hanging out free will to these guys. These guys? You don't even give us free will, which is also funny case in point. Because Lucifer was able to start a coup against God, which would imply to me his will was also a little bit free, right? So I'm still stuck. I'm still lost. Like, I'm curious. Like, George, why were you so jealous of us? What's up with all the hate? And don't you know hate makes people great? Makes him hella famous apparently nowadays. So what's up? Like, was it something as drastic and major as, let's say, God this time? Not only was he creating, but this time, like, he put a little bit of himself back into it. Because before he was making creations, he just make it with the pure thought. Boom, bang, boom, pop. But this time he said, you know what? I'm gonna jump out the box. I'm stepping out the box. I'm about to think outside the box. Screw the box. Got rid of the box. Boom, box gone. I'm gonna try something different. Something I ain't never really tried before. Something I was a little hesitant to try because it's so outrageous, so radical, so new, you know? But I'm gonna put a little bit of myself into you. I'm gonna give my creation a little bit of me. Maybe that's the secret. That's the key. And Lucy finds out about this shit. He's like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, big man? G.O.D. Hey, quick question. Just, nothing major. I heard through the grapevine, the apple tree and some carrots, that you was putting a little bit of yourself in your newest creation. I was like, no way. And there's no way this is true. And then I'm considering the sources, and it's just like, nah, you wouldn't do that. Because you said you would never do that. That's some crazy stuff. I don't know. I'm feeling a little hurt because I thought we was family, but I see we need family. Or was it something as simple as lack of wings? Like he was just chilling in heaven. He's like, hey, Luce, come check out God's new creation, Adam and Eve. Luce looked down there and was like, what is this? Where's their wings? Why they don't have to carry these heavy ass wings around that take you to far places and beyond? Man, I swear to these lucky sons of bitches. I swear to God always messing up shit for me, man. Always making me feel all types of insecure and shit in this bitch. We should at least talk to HR about it. Like, we need to do something. And that's exactly what he did. Regardless of the reasons, though, you think that somebody who seemed to have it all would be far from jealous of us. Sounds very human-like, if you ask me. Not very angelic. But who knows? So he starts whispering in people's ears, spreading the virus, forming his own game. And all the while, God has no clue of what's going on. Well, maybe he does. Maybe he's just, biding his time, trying to see who's really down with the G.O.D. How many people can be swayed, right? But I thought he was all-knowing. Right? Okay. But anyway, so eventually when, Lucy feels he's got enough numbers to feel courage, he decides to break out war against God. Can you believe that? A war in heaven? One of the last places you'd ever expect war to break out, right? Like, who's bringing war to God? Let alone a civil war? Could you imagine? You die, you go to heaven, you're just chilling, and all of a sudden you hear this. What's going on? What the fuck is going on? I don't know, man. Looks like there's a war. Something like a mutiny. Talking about there ain't enough eggs that are scrambled. What the hell? I came up here to get away from problems. Shit. Now I'm going back into my mindset. I'm going to act like nothing happening. I'm just like, come on. How you warring with God? God, you know what? Sounds like somebody need to get their house in order to me, if you ask me. Shit, should have laid down that, pushed down that hammer. The first time dude stepped out of line and started whispering in between the lines on you. Seems like God might have to take some lessons from some black parents, because, we know how to raise them. The man just wouldn't have been stepping out of line if God was black. Just joking, obviously. So when it came time to pass judgment on Lucifer, instead of getting rid of this obvious contagious disease or, giving him his own personal earth to call home for life, God gets a better idea. And boy, is it bright. Why not just send the virus down to his newly uncontaminated earth, right? What's the worst that could happen? Could you imagine that conversation? Lucifer and the fallen just patiently waiting nervously like, man, what's going to happen? Till Lucy can't take it no more. He stands up. Go ahead, God. Do you, huh? Prove to us all here and now the egotistical, tyrannical dictator that we all know you to be deep down within inside thee. God was like,
oh, wow. Somebody's trying to cut deep over there. Talk about a lot of emotional baggage built up. It's like, what did I do to you? I have no clue. But I do know what I should do. I should probably do a little bit of this, mixed with a little bit of that, or maybe even, but I got a better idea. You see, I just created this new earth, right? I got these two new creatures on it. I like to call them Adam and Eve.
You say Adam and Steve?
Bitch! You heard what I said. Now you better, one more outburst from you and, okay? Now zip it. Adam and Eve. Now so far everything's Gucci. They ain't touched my tree. But I don't know if it's because A, they're afraid of the consequences and repercussions from the big bad wolf in the sky, aka you know who? Or is it because they truly love me? Which one is it? Like, can someone say, sway them like the angels here today, and all of a sudden they're on the path of disobeying? Like, I I got to know, especially after what went down here. I gotta know. I will lose my mind unless I know. So I come up with a solution. You ready to play some games, Lucy? Rhetorical question. We're playing games. You know what? I feel like, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel like me and you, Lucy, we're going to be playing games to the end of time. Or until I decide to kill you. Which, wow, now that I think about it, is coincidentally at the end of time. What are the odds of that? I got this whole shebang bang. You know what? Let's not talk about that. Let's deal with that's a future problem. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I want you to get up all in your head, so just delete that, okay? Trash that. All right, who's ready for a first-class ticket to Earth? On God.
Now, some people say, no, funny. No. Get it correct, okay? God didn't send Lucifer to Earth. No. What he did was he just kicked him out of heaven. He said, you're no longer welcome here, okay? You got to skedaddle. Skedaddle. And that's what happened. Lucy and his homies, they packed up their stuff and left. Oh, okay. So what happened next? Well, they just found their way to Earth. They were just cruising along, bumping out to some songs, trying to figure out where to go when they see this nice spot. They like, ooh, that looks hot down there. I wonder if they got any water or at least some Wi-Fi, right? And that's what they did. They stopped by. Oh, okay. They did the drop-in. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. So God didn't send him to Earth. Lucy found his way here. Okay, I get you. Wow, it's making all types of sense to me now. But wait, you know what? If that's so, now that I'm thinking about it, not trying to judge God or your opinion of God, don't you think like a dome or a dome-like object over the Earth would have just been like gravy? You know, just to keep outside threats outside where they belong? I'm just saying. It's just spitballing. What do I know? I'm a dummy, right? Yeah. That's a good point you make there. Not the dummy part, the dome. Wow. You know what? I'm pretty sure there's a reasonable reason why God didn't put a dome over. Just give me some time to think and pray. I might even have to outsource it to my pastor and some of the congregation, but I'm sure there is an answer, and a good one at that. Just you wait. Okay, I'm going to be waiting. Tick, tock, tick. It's like, how little do you think of God, huh? Like, do you think he's just a super idiot? Like he was just sitting around.
Oh, no. Snap.
What's wrong, sire?
I just forgot. I just kicked Lucy out. What stops him from going to my new Earth, right? Like, it isn't that close, but it isn't that far. Like, there's a chance that he might actually get there.
Well, sir, don't you think a dome would have been...
Do not tell me what I should have done. I know what I should. Don't tell me what I am doing. I am God, okay? I don't need to be told like a dome or a dome-like object keeping my people safe would have been a great thing to do, okay? Shit, but you know what? That is a great idea. I'm just, you know what? I'm going to have to make a note of this. Dome or dome-like object for the next Earth. There we go. Boy, don't I come up with some great ideas?
Yes, sire, you do. Now, see, my whole problem with the story, the movie plot, my biggest conundrum is, why not just kill the devil and the rest of the homies? He wouldn't even have to kill him. He would just think him out of existence. No blood necessary or weapons, just power of pure thought. And I've been racking my brains out, but I can't just rack my brains. I got to rack other people's brains. Some people who know so much about God and everything. Maybe there's a reasonable reason, right? So I'm asking lots of people, family, friends, random strangers, Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, you know what? Maybe they were Mormon. They could have been both. I don't know. All I know is they always be traveling in two, like they headed to Noah's place. And it's funny asking the Jehovah's Witnesses or them, whatever religious people, this question, because they always think they got the answers to everything. But when you drop a bombshell on them like this, they're like, hold on, there's give me like a few minutes, which is funny because they always come prepared. So, but they all say the same thing, basically. The answers could vary a little bit, but what it all comes back to is this. You see, God didn't want to prove Lucifer right. Yeah, that's what it was. He didn't want to prove that crazy evil ass bastard right. You see what I'm saying? No. I don't see what you're saying. Because not only does God have to play these great old mind games, he's also got something to prove, according to you. Something to prove to a being he's created from nothing. Oh my God. Are we talking about the same God who flooded the world just to cleanse it? Just to cleanse it. The same God who commanded a king to slaughter an entire kingdom. And he really meant everything. I'm talking about men, women, children, plants, animals. Not even the weed was to survive. You hear me? The same God who had his own son killed, hung up on some wood just to get us out of a jam. That guy, right? Now all we got to do is pray on a certain day, drink some fake blood, eat some fake body, and we're Gucci. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I misspoke a little. We also got to accept God. I mean, not God, obviously, Jesus Christ, JC, the Christ, into our hearts as our Lord and our Savior. Just that little tidbit. Then we're Gucci. Now, I'm not trying to judge or point fingers or even say I could have done it better. Not trying to do any of that. But I will say this. It feels like a lot of this could have been avoided had he just killed Lucifer in The Fallen, right? Don't you think? It's like, talk about a flair for the dramatics. Especially if you're an all-knowing God. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's like we're living in the Truman Show, except for God doesn't like to be surprised. I wonder why. End of chapter 2.